May 1, 1944. Dear Mom, we got paid today. It was just a half month pay. I bought me a watch in the PX, so all I can send is $10. Next month you will get more. Thanks for your confidence in my ability. It helps a lot. I haven't seen any of those pictures you mentioned. I will try to, though. On this letterhead is a picture of our ship. Isn't she sweet? Gee, it makes a guy feel proud to fly her, too. You ask about the food? It is swell. We had a good turkey dinner yesterday. Of course, I wouldn't be here, darn it. I hitched up to Fresno and Dos Palos and saw the Leonard family, also some of my old pals. They come down to the Leonard's house, too, and we all meet there. You know, like the gang used to meet there at home. Mrs. Leonard puts me a lot in the mind of you. You ask what BT means. You remember our first ship was a PT, primary trainer. This is a BT, basic trainer. The Army is teaching us basic maneuvers and other basic flying. That is what it is derived from. Our next ship is an AT, advanced trainer. Get it? Boy, they really took us on that dang compensation deal, didn't they? Oh well, after things get rolling, we will do okay. I wonder what is the matter with Mary. Perhaps she will tell me. I hope. Right now, I am a man without a girl. Oh well, I guess it's for the best. We went into the suntans today. It is a good deal, 'cause boy is it ever hot here. I'll bet it was close to 100. That sun is vicious. Well, take it easy. Your Jim. May 10, 1944. Dear Mom, I am writing this at an auxiliary field at which we are working today. I am writing this in a truck, so excuse the poor writing. Yesterday I did my first solo in a BT. I shot 3 landings. All I can say is, what an airplane. There is so darn much to do in it compared to the one we just left. We are in suntans now, and I had Mrs. Leonard send my cap home, so if you receive it, don't think it is a mistake. A couple of we fellows are invited to a party up at Dos Palos, so we will be going up there this weekend. We should have a good time, we hope. We usually do. Say, Mom, how much are we getting from the allotment? I'm curious. I thought we were supposed to get an increase. Mom, if and when I get a commission, the first month or so will help on my clothes, then I will be able to send a tidy sum home. Your Jim. May 22, 1944. Dear Mom, I now have about 30 hours. I still like flying a lot. Last week we had our first cross-country flight. It was about 250 miles. It took on an average of 2 hours 45 minutes. The trip had 4 legs. We landed 2 places, and as we flew over the other key points, we had to call in by radio and give our ship number and ask permission to continue on course. It is interesting to do this. I picked up 3 stars on that trip. I think I told you about the star system. When a guy makes an error, a silly one, he is given stars. Each star costs him a quarter. We get free Cokes through this fund, and at the end, we're going to have a big beer party. So we get the benefit of our own mistakes in the long run. To go on, when we land or take off, our canopy is supposed to be open for better vision. I landed at a little field up in the mountains, Cayena by name, with it closed. Boy, is it ever hot out here now. Wow. I wish I were there when Mrs. Irby made that crack. There would have been some feathers flying. Here's a few things we say in the Army. When you get a ballin' out, it is called an ass chewing. When you do a dumb stunt, it is called a head-up ass trick. Then they say, grab your ears and pull your head out. A guy that sucks around an officer or supervisor in command is said to be brown nosing. You know, like two dogs. Forgive my language, but that is the best way to explain it. I thought you would be interested and possibly amused. I hope so. We have a lot of such crazy sayings and doings. This weekend, I went to Dos Palos. My buddies from Merced Basic were down. They graduated last week. They are all going to Arizona, so maybe I will get a little further east for advanced. I kind of hope so. I think next week I will go down to L.A. and see Jeannie again. It is closer to L.A. than it is to Dos Palos. I think it would be a better deal. Well, I will shut up for now. Take it easy. Your Jim. May 29, 1944. Dear Mom, I just got done taking a dip in our pool. It just opened last week. I have 45 hours now, 35 more to go here. 4 more weeks. That isn't long, is it? You asked the difference between instrument flying and what I am doing. At present, I am flying contact, that is with visual reference to the ground. When you fly by instruments, you fly only by use of all the various instruments. In fact, they put a hood over one cockpit so you can't see out. All instrument flying is done with an instructor in one seat as observer. I go on instruments next week. Some fun. We start on night flying tomorrow night. We only get 4 hours of this, though. It consists of several landings, I guess. I had acrobatics last week and this week. It is fun doing snap rolls, slow rolls, barrel rolls, loops, half rolls. Boy, what a thrill doing a slow roll, and just as you get the ship on her back, the engine cuts out. I went up to Dos Palos this last weekend. Mrs. Leonard told me she heard from you. She is a swell woman. I wish you could meet her sometime. I'm going to L.A. this week to see Jeannie. Then the next week I'm going to see Wirt Langer. You know I used to live with him in New York City. Well, I guess this is all for now. Your Jim. June 12, 1944. Dear Mom, don't scold me. I know what you are thinking. We have been night flying. That is the main reason for my not being punctual. I have finished my contact flying and now am delving into the vastness of instrument flight. Rough isn't the word for it. It is really rugged stuff. I hope I am capable of successfully completing it. We have about a week to go of flying, then we will be finished, in more ways than one. You will have to excuse this pencil. I lost my pen. It was a very sad event, too. That pen had a lot of sentiment attached to it. Can you buy good pens back home? If you can, I would like to have a Parker 51. I don't guess you can get them, though. You ask how long advanced is. It is about 10 weeks. That isn't so long. I got a letter from Chaz. He is going to primary fairly soon now. I am surely glad that he is still in this deal. He is a swell Joe, you know. Well, Jim and Joe moved. Send me their address. I may be stationed up near them for advanced. I'm still optimistic. I went down to Ventura last weekend to see Wirt. His parents from Nebraska were out there. His sister was there too. Boy, is she beautiful. Actually, I'm not just saying that either. I could go for her in a big way. I probably will never see her again, but I'm hoping. We graduate the 24th. That isn't too long. Tell Sis I said hi. Your Jim. June 18, 1944. Dear Mom, it's all over but the shouting. Tomorrow we're having our instrument check rides. My instructor said if I fly like I have been flying, I won't have anything to worry about. I hope I don't have anything to worry about. Well, kid, the shipping orders came out. I am going to be sent to 4 engine school in West Texas, Marfa Field. a considerable number of miles closer to home. It will be about a week yet, but when you get this, you can start on one of your long letters. I hate to hit Texas again, but it is a lot closer to home. Gee, it looks like I might get my bomber yet, doesn't it? Boy, they surely have given a lot of my buddies the axe. Gee, when one of them comes back to the barracks telling that he washed out, you can see that it has just cut the heart out of him. They have the very same thing to say. I don't care for myself, but what will my parents think of me? What will I tell them? I hope I never have to try to think of anything like that to tell you. Mom, I think you have done swell in getting things caught up financially. I won't know the old joint. Don't call that dump a joint when I get home. I rode with a captain the other day in instruments. Boy, was I scared. Wow. But I didn't kill him, so he was okay to me. Well, adios, senorita. Your Jim. June 20, 1944. Dear Mom, now that I am done instruments, today I am fooling around. I guess we are not going to have a class book, but they did give us our pictures. I am sending it to you. You could put a piece in the paper about my going to advanced flight training school in Texas if you want to. We are having a full week this week. We're going on a bivouac, having a beer party, a graduation dance, and graduation. Quite a lot, isn't it? We finished ground school today, I guess. One more final exam, and that's all. Well, I will shut up for now. Take it easy. Your Jim. June 24, 1944. Dear Mom, well, kid, I now have about one more day here. We finished flying yesterday. Today, several men were picked to represent the different squadrons in maneuvers. We took first place in formation flight. We had a beautiful formation. Last night, we had our graduation dance. It was a buffet dance. We had a lot of fancy tarts, salads, and meats, and 5 very large turkeys and beer. Our post orchestra played. What a time we had. I met a cute little blonde and spent a glorious evening with her. That's the way it is, though. You always meet a nice person when you are leaving a place. You know, I am going to miss this place a lot. It is a hard deal here, but when you get through, they treat you swell. Today, after our flying competition, we had competitive sports, cadets against flying and tactical officers. I might add that the cadets took a beating. After this was over, we went over to the mess hall and had a steak dinner with beer. When we finished our meal, we sang a lot of songs. Boy, was that bivouac tough. That ground was the hardest I had slept on for quite some time. When we got back, our blankets were covered with sandburrs. The only way to get them out is by picking. What a mess. Well, we are falling out for graduation exercises. More later. Your Jim. June 29, 1944. Dear Mom, well, kid, here it is. I'm here at Advanced Flying School in Marfa, Texas. Boy, we really get good food here. We have had 2 of them so far. It took us a little over 2 days to get here. We pulled in at about 2:30 yesterday morning. We got to bed about 4 a.m. We got up at 7 a.m. Boy, am I tired. Wow. Today we had a lecture and got our barracks looking a little decent. This afternoon we had our pictures taken, I think, for our class book. We put a lieutenant's bar on our collar and had a sign reading, Lieutenant James A. Norden. Sounds good, doesn't it? We won't start flying till about Tuesday. In the meantime, we have to have another physical, more lectures. These ships are silly looking, but I guess they are pretty nice. We now have 2 engines to worry about instead of the 1, as in basic. We will fly AT-17s. The base here isn't near as nice as old Gardner, but I guess I will get used to it. It is very dusty here. Just 10 weeks and it will be all over. Gee, I have it all figured out. My coming home, I mean. I figure it will take me 3 days one way. We don't know how many days we will get, but we are hoping for a lot. Gee, I talked big to have a hump to get over yet. I hope I make it. We are the last class to go through, I guess. We are supposed to get a mailbox soon, but I will get the letter if you just use the address on the envelope. Well, I must quit and get a little rest before chow. Your Jim. July 1, 1944. Dear Mom, well, we are a little more situated, but still laying around. This place isn't like basic, but I guess it is okay. When we got here, I started meeting a lot of my old pals and still am. In about 5 weeks, they will have some nice gold bars on their shoulders. This has been a busy day. First, we met our CO. He is a colonel. He has had quite a bit of overseas work. He is the toughest and yet the best CO a man could have. Your first impression is that he is a power-happy jerk, but the longer you listen to him, you change your opinion. My boys told me that there is nothing in town, so we are staying on the post this week. The officers have a beer party for us every Saturday, so when I get done writing, I will go have a beer or two, then hit the sack. We had a formal retreat parade today in honor of a Mexican general. He was one of those paunchy individuals. He had what looked like a Marine's uniform on and stood with arms folded across his massive chest. It had dropped considerably, too. Monday or Tuesday, I am going to order my officer's uniform. They give us $250 for clothes, but you would be surprised. It takes about that for the necessities. Mom, I'm buying a few little items and saving for my trip home, so I probably won't be sending any money home for a while. But if you need any money, don't fail to let the old boy know. I do want you to be proud of your little lieutenant as we walk down the street. There I go again, and we haven't even started flying yet. I hope when and if I get my commission, I have a little time to get a nice stay at home. Say, kid, could you use some silk hose? No, I'm not crazy. We can go over into Mexico and bring back 2 pair at the most. Legally, too. If you can use them, send me your size and style, and if I ever get across the border, I will pick up a couple of pair for you. We don't start flying till the latter part of next week, so I am rather lost just sitting around, but when we do start, we get a lot of things. That is why I will try to do a lot of writing while I can. Don't expect too many letters later. I'll do my best. Say, how did you like the picture of the hot pilot? I'm sending an advertisement that explains more about flying and our work than anything I know. Save it. Your Jim.